Hola chicos, este es el primer video en una serie de videos que vamos a usar para repasar varios aspectos de la gramática en español. En este video vamos a explorar los adjetivos posesivos. He notado que hay varios problemas con estos posesivos, entonces he creado estos recursos, estas fuentes, para que ustedes puedan estudiar en casa. Con estos videos, si sabes todo, no es necesario mirarlos, pero si tienes problemas, y muchos de ustedes tienen problemas con los adjetivos posesivos, debes tomar apuntes y llegar a clase listo para discutir los temas. Bueno, vamos a pasar a la primera cosa. Adjetivos posesivos. They're possessive adjectives. Hay dos formas. Una forma apocopada, que quiere decir corta, a short form. These are the most common ones that we use. Y hay una forma larga también. Let's start with these. We all know these. Me and mis means my. Tu and tus means your. Su and sus means his. You mean her as well. And it can also mean its. And these are possessive. Like if you have a dog and he has a toy, es su juguete, its toy. ¿Verdad? Nuestro is the word for our. All of these words mean our. Vuestro is the word for your, but it's the plural your. It's the vosotros form, usually used mostly in Spain. And then su and sus is the word for their, and it's also the word for your formal plural as well. So, I use this form all the time with you guys. Tienen que hacer su tarea. You need to do your homework, all of you, because it's more common than the vosotros form, which again is really mostly only used in Spain, although you will hear this quite a bit in literature and in different countries. So a couple points about this that I think warrant talking about. People get confused with this with mis and tus. People think, for example, tus means yours, and that is absolutely not true. Tus is just the plural form of whatever it is you're modifying. So if you were talking about one book, you'd say tu libro. Two books, you talk about tus libros. So the plural forms here are really only used to modify whatever noun you're talking about. It's the same with this one. I mean, look at nuestro. All those four words mean our. It doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. If you're a girl, you'd use nuestro with libro. And if you're a guy, you'd use nuestra with camisa, for example. So it has nothing to do with who the speaker is, and it also has nothing to do with ours. That's a whole different thing to talk about. We talk about yours and ours. Those are going to be possessive pronouns, which we'll get to in the next screencast. All right, muy bien. Vamos a ver algunos ejemplos. So aquí tenemos algunos ejemplos. Mi casa está en la calle mayor. I don't think that really needs to be discussed. Tu gato es muy grande. Muy bien. Tus amigos están esperándote. That's fine. Sus hijos son muy atléticos. Now, sus, this is super redundant, right? This could be his. It could be her. It could be your, plural. It could be their. It could be a bunch of things. It could be its. So, if in the context of the conversation we know who we're talking about, that's fine. But if not, we need to make sure we know who we're talking about here, because they mean a lot of different things. Nuestra casa es de madera. Again, nuestra is modifying casa. It's an adjective, just like any other. It has to agree. Nuestros vecinos, our neighbors. Same word, just different forms to modify different nouns. Vuestro jardín está bien cuidado. This would be the vosotros form. Your garden is in more than one your, plural. And in other places would use su. This one here, vuestras profesiones son muy lucrativas. Your professions, plural. Your, as in more than one person, are lucrative. And you could also use sus. So, estos son ejemplos de los posesivos, los adjetivos posesivos. These short form ones, the ones we're seeing here, are absolutely the most common ones. The ones that we're about to see aren't as common, but we do need to discuss them. So, notas importantes about the short ones. ¿Cuáles son algunas cosas importantes? Uno, los adjetivos posesivos preceden el sustantivo. That means they come before the noun. We know that. Yo tengo mis billetes para el viaje. This is important because when we compare them to the long form ones, it works differently. Número dos, con las partes del cuerpo y con las prendas de vestir, articles of clothing, se emplea el artículo definido en lugar del posesivo. Esto es súper importante, ¿no? We don't necessarily or generally say me duele mi cabeza. We say me duele la cabeza. It's assumed that the head you're talking about is yours. The head hurts me, literally. My head hurts me. We use la instead of me. Rafael se pone la chaqueta. The assumption is that it's his jacket that he's putting on. We don't say su chaqueta. Ellos se cambian la ropa. They change themselves to say here. We're assuming that it's their clothes that they're putting on. We just say la. Now, if you said su here or su here, it's not like un error fatal. It's not horrible. But it's a lot more common to use these definite articles. And then that goes kind of right to número 3. En español se emplea el adjetivo posesivo menos que en inglés. In English, we use it all the time. In Spanish, there's a lot of times we don't use it. So, for example, my dad is in his office. Número 1 here, you say, mi padre está en la oficina. Even if the speaker means his and not the, generally we're going to use this definite article. Mi primo está estudiando en, there's an error here. Está estudiando en, should be el colegio. Rather than his, used very commonly. Now, su, it's not a mistake necessarily, a grammatical mistake, pero es más común usar la forma de el artículo definido. Bien, este es un repaso de los adjetivos posesivos. En el próximo video vamos a hablar de los adjetivos posesivos que son largas, so the long form ones we'll look at in the next one. Muy bien, muchas gracias por su atención y nos vemos en clase. Lleguen a clase preparados para hablar de esto. Chao.